everyone, it's Kelly. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you the books I read in October. Now, for October, I planned a whole spooky TBR, and a couple of the books that I read were spooky. So, I have read these ones, plus an ebook, and I now have a most disappointing read of 2020, #1 spot. And I was looking forward to it too. So, I'm going to go in order by how I read them. And yeah, if you read any of these books, let me know down in the comments. And please hit that subscribe button. I am slowly growing. And yeah, so let's just get into the books that I read in the month of October. This book I read in October was on my sequel September TBR, and I just did not want to put it off for another month. So I read The Mark of Athena by Rick Riordan. I'm going to try to finish this series by the end of 2020. So that means I need to read book 4 and book 5 in December. And my December TBR is out of control already. And plus I'm going to be reading the graphic novels of Percy Jackson and the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series. So, anyways, this is the third book in the Heroes of Olympus series. We're following Jason, Percy, Annabeth, Leo, and Hazel. And they are part of the Seven, which has been prophesized to go on this quest. And so, like I said, all of these covers give so much away. So, you can definitely tell that Percy and Jason are fighting, have to go on this quest, which is all about Athena and Athena's daughter, which is Annabeth. And it's just so great. Octavian, I hate him. He needs to go do something besides stabbing teddy bears. I loved all the comparisons between modern day products and the ancients. The pun and the humor, my favorite. Coach Hedge, he's a new favorite character. He doesn't beat out Terminus, the statue, which I loved that he had some exposure in this one, but I wanted more. Can he travel? And I don't know. I do not like how Rick Riordan did my Georgia Aquarium wrong. That was just messed up. Anything with Georgia related. Also, Charleston. What the? I know Charleston's considered one of the haunted town in America, but yeah. And Fort Sumter, my state history, Civil War, I'm sorry, but, and yes, at the end, I was sobbing for Percy and Annabeth. That's why I want to get to book 4 so freaking fast. Ended up giving this one 4 out of 5. It wasn't a total 5 because I was getting into it with these. Okay, it had 3 different storylines, and once you get into one storyline, Rick Riordan goes into 2 other characters who are on like their own little quest within a quest. And once you get into it, different storyline. Once you get into it, back to the old storyline, and you're just out of it. I'm like, ugh. So I didn't really like that because there's 3 storylines within main quest, and yeah, hopefully the 4th one is a 5 out of 5. Next one is Tuesday Mooney Talks to Ghost, and this is a Edgar Allan Poe based scavenger hunt. I love Edgar Allan Poe. I have since I was a sophomore in high school, and because we did a whole unit. And then I drove my mom crazy with Edgar Allan Poe this, Raven that, Pendulum, everything. And so, I ended up giving this a 4 out of 5. And I really loved the ghost part aspect. Tuesday Mooney she lost her best friend when they were teenagers, and some say that she did an accidental drowning because she went to this lighthouse in the middle of the night and she was not supposed to, and Tuesday was supposed to go with her, but Tuesday backed out because she was scared that they were going to get caught. And then while Tuesday Mooney's growing up, the ghost of her best friend is like always in the back of her mind, and she's like, I know something happened to me, but I don't remember who pushed me. I don't remember. And so Tuesday has tried to tell the police that she didn't commit suicide or accidentally die, that she was murdered, and no one believes her. And so she's always got her best friend's ghost right behind her. And then she works for this event company that hosts what's it called? Charity events, where they like auctions, a charity auction. And she works for this hospital. And so she gets all these big businessmen. She works and gets information on all these big businessmen to invite them to this charity event so they can get their money, send it to the hospital. And so this one guy, he's coming, and his dad is another accidental. And then she is in this event, and this guy is talking up this woman, this married woman, and her husband comes, and he's well known, and then he just drops dead. The next day, his obituary, he wrote his own obituary, which is this invitation to join this scavenger hunt, and whoever can find the clues will get the grand prize. And it's got to be, his wife ends up knowing about the game, but she didn't know when he was going to drop dead. And so that's another part that I liked. One part where there was a closet, or like a janitor's closet or a maintenance area in a train tunnel, and Tuesday Mooney was like just freaking out. She was having a mental breakdown because she was just thinking about her best friend. She opens the door and she thinks she sees her best friend hanging. That scared me so bad. That was my little spook factor for the entire month, because the rest of these books was just not scary. So, and I also got a new favorite quote. It is, does Hogwarts offer need-based tuition assistance? Do they? I want to know. I had 2 graphic novels, and the first was, Lock and Key, Volume 1, Welcome to Lovecraft. My husband watched the Netflix adaptation a couple months ago, and I told him it was a graphic novel series, and he said that when I finish the first 3 volumes, which is basically the first season, then he will rewatch it with me. But he really didn't like it, and he loves anything like this, like weird and kind of horror based, and he didn't like it. So I really didn't like the first volume. I was confused from the very beginning when the kids are hiding, or no, at the very beginning it shows a dead guy in a truck, and then it immediately shows a funeral, and I'm just like, what? And yeah, so if you don't know, it's about these 3 kids who find out or witness their dad being murdered by 2 guys who go to their school, and the kids end up going to juvie, and the mom ends up moving the 3 children of the dead father to Lovecraft, Maine, where the father grew up. And so they think they're safe. They're across the country from the murderer, and then the murderer ends up breaking out and hitching a ride. Yeah, I did not expect sexual things. I did not expect blowjobs. I did not expect anything sexual in this. And that was a complete shock. But yeah, I really didn't like this, and I gave it a 3 out of 5. It jumps right into the action at the very beginning. Very confusing at times. It's very creepy, the artwork, and it's fast-paced. I did have to flip back some to understand what I just read because it was that quick, and I was just like, that don't make sense, but it ended up making sense later down the line. So yeah, not my favorite, and I got volume 2 the same time I got volume 1, so I was like, alright, I already have it, I might as well read it, and if I don't like it, then I won't pick up the third one. This one was better. This is Lock and Key Volume 2 Head Games. This key opened, oh, I should talk to you about the keys. So in this one, the key opens up a door, and if you walk through it, you immediately drop dead, and your spirit is through this door on the other side, and you can basically, like a peeping Tom, or watch things and learn about stuff. And so I didn't really like this key. So the second key is Head Games. This key will open up your brain, open up your skull, and you can add things and take things out. So the little boy is finding, the youngest child of this dead father, he's finding all these keys. He fishes this one out of the lake. And so, yeah. And the bad guy, he figures it out. They just tell him, not knowing he's a bad guy. And yeah, this one was my favorite. I'm gonna have to read my thoughts. More gory and twisted. I was expecting it, so I really liked it. The introduction was messed up and better than volume 1. So the introduction is from Joe Hill, and then the another person. It's written introduction by Warren Ellis. I don't know who that is. He's not the illustrator, but he lives in London, or not telling you my location, so I don't really know. It's by Warren Ellis, and oh my god, if y'all don't read the introductions, if y'all read these, then y'all are missing out, because that was creepy as fuck. The first one, the introduction, volume 1, I just didn't get. But this one made the story a whole lot more better because I had insight to Head Games. So, yeah. I do have volume 3. I like this one more than volume 1, so I ended up getting volume 3. And then I found out that season 1 is the first 3 volumes, so I'm going to read that, and then I'm going to watch Lock and Key in December. And, yeah. So, look out for my December wrap-up. I'll tell you if I will continue with the rest of the volumes. The next one, I went back and forth to if I wanted to read it in October or November, and I ended up reading it in October because I thought it was going to be a little spooky, but no, it wasn't. It is I Am Haunted, Living Life Through the Dead by Zach Bagans. This is his second book, and I've read the first one. If you don't know who Zach Bagans is, he is the host and producer of the Travel Channel show Ghost Adventures. I have been watching Ghost Adventures since 2011, thanks to my uncle when we were clearing out our land, when we were cutting down trees to put our house on. I would go over to my grandma's house, she lives right next door, and me and my uncle would sit and watch Ghost Adventures while my husband was cutting down trees. So, my husband did all the work. But, yeah, I became obsessed, and Zach and Aaron are my faves. So, this one just goes more into detail about his investigations. It's not more, I don't have to read my thoughts. Needed to be edited better. That's all I'm saying. I laughed at most of his personal experiences where he wrote about because it was funny. It was meant to be funny. And most of the devices that he uses, he talked about in his first book, and it was just a repeat in this book, and it was very boring. I ended up skimming some of the book, and then the pictures throughout the book are just phenomenal. I wish the pictures that he added would have matched the story that he was telling. That gives y'all nightmares on. I apologize. So yeah, do I recommend it? If you like Ghost Adventures and are a big Ghost Adventures fan, then yes, I have read both of his books already. I need to read Ghost Hunting for Dummies. I've read Nick's book, who's no longer on the show. Aaron, he doesn't have any books, but he does have a merch store, and I got a Big Steppin', which is his brand. I do have a hoodie. And Jay and Billy, I don't know if they have any merch or have a book coming out. I'm going to have to tweet them and ask if they have any sort of thing like that. But yeah, I ended up giving it a 3. Not spooky, but the pictures were kind of creepy. Next one is my most disappointing read of the month and of 2020. I was looking so forward to this book. I wanted it to be a post-apocalyptic, dystopian. I wanted it to be just hell on water. It wasn't. It is The Ship by Antonia Honeywell. This takes place in a futuristic, I say that, it's not a post-apocalyptic, and it's not a dystopian. I'll say real, futuristic. London. It's hard to talk about this book because I get so mad just thinking about it. I ended up giving it a 1 star. Layla, however you want to pronounce this main character's name, she's a whiny, selfish brat. So, the world, the London that they live in has gone to hell. And they are having to have identity cards, and if the rules are always changing. If you lose your identity card, then you're automatically not a citizen, and you get shot or placed in this prison. And she just whines all the time, like, my mom won't let me carry my ID card, but I know I will lose it, so I guess it's all right. And then her and her mom go to the British Museum all day, every day. And Lala misses the exhibits and wishes she could see them and wonder where they're at, like what happened to them. And and her father is part of this government. He has made this thing where I don't even know what it was about, but her father decides it's time to use their escape route. And it's a big ship where he has hand-chosen 500 people to board this ship and live on it. And so his wife, Layla's mom, she's against it. And then they hear a tat-tat-tat-tat-tat outside, and Layla's mom tells her, don't go to the window. And then Layla's mom goes to the window, and she gets shot. The father, he's just calm and collected. My wife has been shot. And so they drive to this boat. They get on this boat. And Layla's worrying about her mom. And the dad is just like, write your name in the ledger and go to your room. Go to the ballroom and wait for me there. Everything happens in the ballroom. The mom, she dies. I will spoil the fuck out of this book. And so Layla looks at the ledger and finds out that her mom's name is not listed, and she's just forgotten. She has a Viking funeral where they just toss her body overboard to sea, and they just stand there. All 500 people just sit or stand and watch at the railing while the dead body is just bouncing up and down in these waves. Not spooky or dystopian. So at the end of one chapter, she acknowledges that she can't change anything and that she is accepting that the ship will just go back and forth in the ocean. It will never have a destination. And that's what she wants the most, a destination. But she gets in this instant love relationship with a boy who gets her pregnant, and they get married within a small time frame of being on this boat, like 3 months. She finds this boy who came to her apartment just once, and she goes, I remember him, but I was too terrified to look at him, so I ran to my room. And they instantly form a relationship, like, I love you and I love you too. As long as she had her boyfriend with her, that she was fine and didn't care about a destination, as long as they were happy together. And then the next chapter, I wish I knew a destination. I'm going to break into my father's office and see where we're going to land. It was just I hate this book. No, and this is the only book that the author has written. It doesn't have great reviews on Goodreads, and the author is whining on her website. Why can't my next book, be picked up by a publisher? It's because this one is so terrible. This one is The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. My daughter Ariana, she got this in her Alcrate Junior box, and I remember reading it when I was in 6th grade, and I didn't remember much. It's about this little girl. She is a spoiled, selfish brat. I don't know what it is about the spoiled, selfish brats in my October books. Was that the theme? I don't know. But it's about this little girl. She is spoiled, and she thinks everyone should listen to her. And this takes place when the British were still occupying India, or India was still a British colony or something like that. And yeah, her mother and father die from this disease. She's left all alone in this big house, and she gets found. And so she's whisked away to the moor, which is in Scotland, Ireland. I want to say Scotland. English moors. And she's told that she has to stay in her room and can't do anything. Mary got on my nerves for being so damn disrespectful. I can't stand disrespectful children. Colin needed a good swift kick in the ass to learn some manners, because he's like, I'm your master and you're supposed to listen to me. And my son's going down. And the dialect was annoying. So why did I give this a 4 out of 5? I don't know. It's more like a 2.5 maybe. I don't know. But my kids, I don't think they enjoyed it. It's a classic. There's my classic for the year. And then, oh no, that's their classic for the year. This is my classic. Why'd you have to go dark? This is my light. Sorry. And the last book I read was The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. This came in one of my Alcrates last year. And I did not know going into this book that one of my favorite movies from the 90s, The Haunting, was an adaptation of this until I got into it. And I was like, oh, no! Statues! Children! And then I started researching, and that movie with Liam Neeson, Catherine Zeta-Jones, and Owen Wilson was a crappy adaptation. Nothing like this book. I was like, okay, when's the statues going to show up? And I'm going to rewatch that version along with the original, along with the Netflix show. I think the Netflix show is about this. I'm not sure. Yeah, so I have some thoughts, because this book is heavy on the mental health. Nell had some serious mental problems that was not addressed. She was just pushed aside and talked down upon, and I found that very upsetting and offensive to me. And she was just wanting people to know, and wanting Theo to listen to her and be her friend. Loved the 1999 version of the movie. and I pictured Nell, and I pictured all of the characters from the actors. And I tried to read this during the day, but I didn't have time, so I read it at night. And I was spooked sometimes with the scratching on the wall and the creaks and bumps and yeah, and cats snoring. Sounds like some of the little spookies in here, but yeah, but I did not expect the mental health problems at all. And the ending, the movie is so different from this book. Like I said, I was expecting children and statues. Did I get children and statues? No. I got like shaking doors, and I got no deaths. Owen Wilson's character didn't die. A woman didn't get slashed in the face with a piano cord. I mean, Nell didn't die the way I remember her dying. She died a completely different way. It's just... So, do I like the movie better than the book? Abso-fucking-lutely. So, I ended up giving this a 3 out of 5 stars, and this is my last read for October. So, there are the 10 books? 11 books? I know. I can't do math. 8 books? 3, 6... 8 books that I read in the month of October. I'm going to try to get this up before the end of November. And then I need to... I think this may go up on Thanksgiving. So if you're watching this on Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving. And if you made it this far, please let me know down in the comments. Send me a purple heart. And I will see you in my next video. Make sure you do hit that subscribe button. Hit that thumbs up. And yeah. Let me know where you came from too. If you found it by a search bar or one of the posts on one of the social medias that I post on. Yeah. My social media handles are in the description, so come chat with me, and I will see you in my next video. The sun's going down. I apologize for the lighting. Bye, guys.